Hello, everyone. We are back from travel with some new stationery goodies and a need for a super efficient September. We will be planning week 37 together in my A5 Sterling Ink Common Planner. Afterwards, we will say our affirmations and we will do the shame release exercise from Inna Segal's The Secret Language of the Body. Finally, we're going to take a look at my new Everbook system. I made my own leather folio based on a video that I have linked in the description. Hey, sister. Thank you for playing me in your background. Let's see here. All right, let us do our thing. All right. So what am I in your background? What am I in the background of? What are you doing? There's something weird about the way this laptop is angled. Like I feel like you're getting a lot of chin. But we're going to move on. We're going to keep going because we've got stuff to do. So this was week 36. Some things got done, some things did not get done. That's how it is. Actually, I can say that I did wash the cat dishes and I can looking for the cat pages. What are the cat pages? Are these the cat pages? No. Cat page. I don't know. All right. Cat page right here. I want to write down that I did wash the water feeder yesterday. Just going to write that there. Washed. Okay, and he did get wet food in the morning. And we'll see if he gets dry food or wet food. You're organizing your stories, what, your books on your bookshelf? Or more like deciding what you're going to be reading? Okay, so let's get back over here to the weekly. All right, so we did that. I did do a little content plan for today. I think that's it. Well, I did do some of this, so I'm going to write that down. Worked on progress reports. I am almost done with that, and I should be able to send that out this week, so yay. Okay, so let's get into week 37. As always, I like to start with dinner. So I like to time block dinner first. I am cooking all week this week. Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo. So you are organizing your paper, your analog books and your ebooks. Got it. I have a lot of ebooks that I haven't read. I just have a hard time reading long things that I need to remember on a screen. Like if it's just like a post, you know, and there's not a lot of pressure, like I can read tons of those, but a long piece of text related to one topic, I have a hard time doing it digital. Okay, I am not happy that there is so much cooking in my future this week. I also need to bake bread. Probably gonna have to do that on Sunday. Bake bread. And then here I'm gonna write prep ingredients. For bread. What next? There's going to be a chop onion day. It's most likely going to be Monday. Chop onions. Also need to shred cocoa butter. Okay. Next. Next, we are to time block when the books are open, which I didn't mark down in my September calendar here. So we're going to do that now. Here we are. These pages are from my honeycomb planner, and they basically, I get a new one every 6 months, and so this is pretty much where I pre-open the books before the calendar for the month has been set up. And so we're just gonna do it. Okay, and then 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 25, 26, 29, 30. All right. So now that that's here on the monthly, then we can use that information on the weekly. which I already pulled out over here. I always pull my tab out and then I lose it. All right, here we go. This is why we have tabs. September. Bam. Okay, so 8, 9, 11, 12, 13. 8, 9, 11, 12, 13. Okay, we have added the dot to indicate that our books are open. Now we are going to make our rectangle indicating what hours someone is able to book that day. If someone does book that day, then I would come back in, write down the time, and then fill in the color in or shade in the boxes for the duration of that appointment. All right. So as you can see, the majority of appointments are in the evenings because this business can't be a full-time business until I am done being the main teacher in my children's education. So this is a part-time occupation that occurs mostly evenings and weekends. And it will probably be that way until my youngest child starts high school, unless they become much more independent till then. So we're looking at the next 4 years of this being a part-time occupation, basically. All right, and so here is our bullet. Next up, I need to indicate book club. We're still doing our book club. 7:30. I try to end it at 9, but sometimes we do talk a lot. I do talk a lot. Okay, but it's really low key because I need it to be. Okay, so that's a book club. I'm going to okay, book club. Hey sister, guess what? I have been exercising. I have been exercising, sister girl. I'm very proud of myself because it had been quite a few months and I've exercised every day since Wednesday. Maybe it was Wednesday. I'll have to, let's take a look here at my tracker if I tracked exercise. It was Thursday. Ever since Thursday, I have exercised every day. So how many days is that? Actually, let's mark it. So yes, I did exercise on Friday. Bing! And I did exercise on Saturday. Bing! And I did exercise today. Bing! That's exciting. If you look over here, this is all the days I didn't do any exercise. But we have a good streak going. Hopefully I can keep it up. Hopefully we can see some rainbows in September. That's sort of like the goal for myself that I've set for myself, is I need to exercise every day. I need to because I need to live forever. And I cannot die. So we've got to exercise every day. Sister says, yay, congrats, color that rainbow. Thank you, thank you. I can't tell you how motivating that rainbow is. It's very motivating. Okay, so we're back to the, I guess, appointments. I kind of jumped everywhere here. Basically work times over here. So we have to also put our live. One thing I realized about exercise is, yes, I'm definitely just trying to develop consistency. But I also do want to create some muscle mass, you know? And I realized I'm exercising too light to create any changes. And so I've been paying more attention to trying to get my heart rate into like a higher workout zone. And actually, if I'm left to my own devices, I'll stay at easy for like 35 minutes. And we have to pump it up. We got to pump it up to moderate and hard. So I'm also going to be looking at that for myself when it comes to my exercise goals. Okay, so we have added all of our work-related tasks. Next up, we want to fill in evening routine stuff. So that would mostly be homeschool admin and bookkeeping. One thing about Tuesday, which I already know. Well, I guess, yeah, we're in the evening routine portion of the show, right? So I have to do you recommend Grow with Joe on YouTube. Oh, for exercise routines? Yeah, I gotta check her out. So far I've only been using the stepper, and today I bounced on the trampoline for like 30 seconds till I was like, you know what, if you keep going, you're gonna end up having a little bout of incontinence. So I stopped that. Maybe we could get to a minute on the trampoline without feeling like we have to go. All right, so I did some boxing on the Switch with my youngest. She does a variety of workouts. Yeah, I gotta check it out. Okay. We need to put in our therapeutic time. Which is gonna be a little late. Or is it going to be early? We'll schedule it for 7 o'clock, but we may not get to it at that time. Self-therapy. Also, I do have to do something spiritual on the 9th. Oh, and the 8th. My sister says, I hate urine incontinence. So do I. I hate it. The 8th is one of my ancestors' birthdays, and I want to at least acknowledge it for myself, because so many times it passes, the day passes and I realize that it's the day after, or or a couple days later. It's like, oh, I at least would have wanted to specifically direct some happy birthday thoughts. So I'm writing it down. First, I'm going to write down what I always do Monday. But then I'm also going to write that. You get it more during ovulation and period time. So basically most of the month. I definitely see that there's a cycle thing happening for me, but interestingly enough, it's related to how much histamine I'm producing or struggling with. So there are times in my cycle, usually during ovulation, where I'm also producing more histamines. I'm getting a lot more environmental allergies. And so I'm taking quercetin to address that. And I notice, hey, when I take the quercetin, I don't have the incontinence. So I'm thinking the incontinence could be related to high histamine produced by the fact that the estrogen is lower now that we're at this particular stage of our lives. I don't know. It's a lot. Okay. Okay. For about 2 weeks a month. Yeah, sounds hormonal. Hate it. Okay, so we need to add some bookkeeping. We have not done any bookkeeping in 6 or 7 weeks. Not good. So I don't know when that's gonna be, but it's got to be. Thursday's a good day. We'll do Thursday. Thursday is a good day to give bookkeeping some blocks of time. Oh, wrong color, darn. Okay. There we go. All right, now homeschool admin. We still have that project. And so we have to still diligently address that issue. All right, this Friday is definitely a homeschool admin. Okay. We should definitely do a Saturday thing as well. Yeah, didn't paint my nails either. My nails look very bad because I did a lot of cleaning instead. So I spent all day yesterday like vacuuming and dusting. And that resulted in it getting late and me saying, you know what, we're just not painting our nails. Okay. All right. And now here, more homeschool admin. Specifically update the homeschool register. I have been doing this, but sometimes I need more than the 30 minutes I'm allotting myself. So I'm getting things written down every day for the most part. But the data, the tracking of data is behind. Like, you know, counting out school days and, you know, all that stuff. I got to do that. Okay, so update homeschool register. All right, and I forgot to put our dot. Just gonna have to go there. All right, next up is the bedtime routine. You know what I realized is that I brought my necklace to put on and I didn't put it on. And now, ooh, shake everything. And now I'm putting it on, even though we've been live for about 30 minutes already. But let's put you on. Here we go. Okay, what's next? Shading. There we go. I have not been doing very good with the PM reflection. I'm going to bed too late. So I tend to just, hey, go brush your teeth, and go to bed and not do. But I feel like I need to do it to help me stay on task. All right, what next? Time for homeschool instruction. Time blocking. Oh, hold on. I'm doing the pickups and the drop-offs this week, which is going to impact my start times. So I'm gonna have to leave at 8:30 these 3 days. 8:30, and I will be back by 9:30. Then the pickups. 1:30, 1:30, 1:30, 1:30, 2:30, 2:30, 2:30, 2:30. Yes, that should do it. So now that we have marked the time, I'm just going to extend this line here because there's really nothing else that I can do when I'm doing this. So we're just going to completely shade it in. And this just reminds us that we do not have as much time as we usually do. It's not what you're used to, is basically what these big lines are doing. My computer is humming hard. I feel like the noise canceling on my microphone is pretty good about it, but Jesus, it sounds so loud. Okay. Oh, we forgot to do our line there. All right, so those are the drop-offs and the pickups. Now that we know that, then we can talk about what time school needs to start. 10 o'clock. It's going to have to be 10 o'clock every day. Just to give myself enough time to eat breakfast or help my child eat breakfast. All right. One thing I've been doing is just squeezing the exercise in, even if it's in the middle of the day. Like, hey, I'm going to exercise while you read to me. But I'm really going to try hard to have this exercise thing happen before school starts. All right. Oh, and hello, Friday. Friday. Okay, so homeschool instruction time has been blocked. All right, what else? Now it's time for the morning routine. As usual, the morning routine is just a list with a dot that you can put an X on if you did the thing. Okay, so oil, pulling, exercise, shower. Oops. I'm supposed to leave space for that task dot. Okay. Cleaning. We will come back to that. All right, so this is Monday, but then Tuesday has this thing here where we're not going to have time for everything. So we'll have to do the vitamin part here. Everything else has the same space, so we're gonna leave that. Oops. Pendulum test vitamins. Okay. Skip this part. All right. Next, we have these other health-related tasks. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. I just remembered I'm going to write this down even though I know it because I don't want to forget it. There we go. I want to draw like a little present box. But we're going to do it in red because that is September's color. There we go. A cute little birthday present box. Okay. Meditation needs to be added here. And then direct morning routine. Oops, Saturday and Friday don't need that to happen at that time. Okay. Forgot to add the dots on Monday. 1, 2, 3. Cleaning. Put our dot here for cleaning. We're going to Okay, so there's the cleaning and the laundry. Laundry, and then here, just like every Saturday, we have vacuum foyer. Okay, so that. Okay. So we just need to highlight cleaning and laundry. Load vitamins. I didn't load vitamins today. Why? Because I was working out at that time. See, I should be waking up earlier. But hey, at least the exercise is happening. So we'll worry about the ideal time another time. All right, bam. It's time for the to-do lists. I'm just going to use this. Okay, groceries. Then we have homeschooling. Bookkeeping. And thinking this. Okay. Then we're just gonna color our flag in here. And then we're going to put task dots. I was really loading these up, but I feel like it's too much pressure and I need to be realistic. Like, realistically, you may only be able to get to 4 tasks outside of, you know, the pressing fire that needs to get put out or whatever. But, we really can't load these up because we're just writing it over and over and over again, which means we're not managing the time well. especially if you feel like you have been working diligently without getting distracted. Then you know, like the expectations were too high. And usually when these get loaded up, the expectations are too high. Okay, so getting in, we're going to highlight now using this mild liner, which is like a very dull red. What's this called? Vermilion. That's the color. The Vermilion mild liner. Not bad. Gonna turn just to highlight the week. Look at that. All right. Just need to write to do in here. What happens if we write it with this red? Not bad. To do. That looks good. Oh, we'll add the grocery dots. This can get loaded up. Okay. We are officially done with week 37. I would put my little strip of washi tape down, but I forgot to grab the washi tape. So, you know, maybe you'll see it next week, whatever I decide to put down there. Shout out to Universal Article, who makes my music. Thanks for stopping by. So that's it. We are done planning week 37. Now, before we get into the affirmations and going through the exercise from Inna Segal's The Secret Language of Your Body, let's just mention who I am if you're new here. I'm Ingrid from thinkingthis.com. I am a writer, tarot reader, Akashic record guide, medium, and spiritual empowerment professional. I've discovered that decorative planning keeps me productive and motivated as I parent, homeschool, create content, and maintain my spiritual practice. On Sundays, I go live, time block, and decorate my weekly pages. And at this point in my life, my YouTube channel is focusing on the intersection where spirituality, journaling, and planning meet. And finding the balance between the magic and the mundane. Basically, this is one of the current interests I'm thinking about. So let's jump into these affirmations. Today, I was listening to Dee Wallace podcast, and I wrote down the affirmation she mentioned for today, which is, I am supposed to be here, and I do belong, and it feels like love. Perfect segue into the exercise we'll be doing today, which has to do with shame. Now, this is on it starts on page 193, and so she goes into shame and its impact on the body. I'm not going to go into all of that. We're just going to do the exercise, and I have brought out her color cards. These are from The Secret Language of Color Cards, also by Inna Segal. So just to help you visualize what she's talking about in the exercises. So I'm going to put these down here. So that we can see that on the screen while we read the process to release shame. Okay. So place your hands on the part of your body where you feel shame most intensely. Like right at this moment, I'm not feeling it. But when I was called to flag this exercise, I was feeling pain in my hip. And that little spot always pops off for me. And so we're going to go with hip. So usually it's my right hip, but I'm doing both hips right now. So on the part of your body where you feel shame most intensely, breathe into the area for a few moments, allowing any emotion to rise to the surface with little resistance. Okay, so now we relax our hands and say, Divine Healing Intelligence, using the orange-red sword of light, cut me loose from all shackles of shame, embarrassment, humiliation, disgrace, and dishonor that bind me. Please help me release and dissolve all self-consciousness, self-doubt, feelings of insecurity, and intimidation. Allow me to forgive all those who have shamed me and to be forgiven by all those whom I have shamed. Help me recover my self-worth, self-belief, and self-respect so that I can truly live my life with dignity and honor. Thank you. Then we're supposed to repeat the word clear several times until we feel lighter. Clear. 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 Next, we are to observe the orange-red light moving through our body, mind, emotions, energy field, and begin to cut through and dissolve all negative thoughts, words, feelings, memories, and images of shame, embarrassment, disgrace, and humiliation. Okay. And next we have to bring back. We cleared the shame. Now we need to bring back the feelings of respect and honor. And she says to do the respect process on page 205. And so what is the respect process? 205. Oh, respect. Okay. Divine healing intelligence, please fill my body, consciousness, and emotions with the orange ray of vital energy. Please infuse me with orange optimism. Please infuse me with orange. Please infuse me with courage, optimism, and respect. Replenish my energy, self-worth, and self-belief. Clear the shame, pain, and density from my past and future relationships, and infuse them with light, love, honor, respect, and value. Teach me to love, validate, and cherish myself. Thank you. Clear. 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 Look at your life and become aware of where you honor, validate, and make empowering choices, and where you do not honor and respect yourself. When you are aware of the areas you need to work on, you can begin healing, changing, and transforming. Use this respect process often to help you release shame and welcome respect. There it is. I'm going to write down what she says here. She says, teach me to love, validate, and cherish myself. I'm going to change it to, I love, validate, and cherish myself. Or let's add ease to it. I easily love, validate, and cherish myself. And look at my brand new pen. This is a Jinhao 10 in marble red. And I was like, red. And you'll see why. But for now, we'll just write down what we said. I easily love, validate, and cherish myself. There we go. Only 2 affirmations today, but I feel like that was good. We'll grab some more as the month moves on. Today's color, what is today's date? Today is the 7th. Today's color is navy. And so we will put our navy dot next to our affirmations. Okay, so we have finished this. Now, oh, actually, no, we are not done because we forgot to add the lunar phases to the weekly. So before we call it done, we need to add these phases. We'll use this. Okay, so what is going on the week of the 8th? We have Moon in Taurus, waning gibbous in Taurus on the 10th. Waning gibbous in Taurus. Waning gibbous in Taurus. Next, the 14th, we have the last quarter in Gemini. Bam! Okay, now we are really done with week 37. We have set our affirmations. And like I said, let's check out the stationery goodies. I have a feeling we're going to finish early today, and that's okay. Because we have stuff to do. So check it out. A few weeks ago, I talked about the Everbook and how I was very fascinated by this way of organizing your projects. And I made myself an Everbook folder. But then I saw my family. My family provided some presents, and I decided to make myself my own Everbook. I linked the video in the description. Basically, I did everything he did, except I made mine a little bit wider than the 6 inches wide that Everbook seems to come in. Oh, and then of course I had to get this red pen to match. But back to what I was saying. I made this slightly bigger than what you typically see with an Everbook. It's a little bit wider. And we'll get into why that is and whether I'm happy that I made that decision. But basically, in the video I linked in the description, this guy basically takes a piece of leather and cuts it down to 9 inches by 24 inches. And then he folds it over. And so I followed his instructions. Folded it over, just like this. And then made a hole back here to thread my elastic. And this elastic will be what holds it. Anyway, so it's like a Maximal Everbook, because typically it's a basic piece of elastic and, you know, a regular brown leather. And, you know, but I decided to get fancy and get like the embroidered elastic and a colored leather, but whatever. Okay, so here's my original A5 folder. I cut off that little piece that I had here before as a tab, and I just stuck it here as a title because it really doesn't fit well. It started bending, so I decided to just cut it off. Anyway, so this is just like I had shown before, except I took that tab off. And this is wider than the typical is it 8.5? 8 by 5.5, right? This is one piece of letter size paper cut in half, and this is basically the size that you are trying to accommodate with these flaps. So in theory, these flaps reach over 6 inches, and then you fold over. But I didn't do that because I made my folder A5 size, and it's not A5 slim, it's A5, which is like 8.25 by 5.75 or something like that. I can't remember the measurements, but it's wider than a half size of letter paper. Anyway, so That's why my Everbook has a wider format than is recommended, because I wanted to accommodate my folders. And so that's what I have on this side. I have this folder that I bought on Amazon. Right now it just holds extra sheets, but a project that is not moon mapping study guide can go in here. I'm highly considering having video notes be kept in here. I'm not exactly sure yet, other than the moon mapping study guide. This is just that same old cardboard from before with an extra sheet of paper. And so that's it. That's how this goes. It's slightly wider, like I said, to accommodate A5 folders. You know, I got this leather bookmark here. It was meant to be a pen holder, but the pen dangles funny, so at this point it's just decorative. It may not stay. Sew this on, and there you go. There it is. My new Everbook folio to hold my business projects, because I'm not really putting homeschool stuff in here. This is strictly business related stuff. And, you know, one thing is, how did we get here? How did we get from notebooks to now wanting to have these loose papers? And honestly, it just has to do with the kind of project. What I noticed is that if the project is writing intensive, there's going to be multiple drafts. And you're going to want to print out drafts and edit on those drafts. And you're going to want to save those drafts sometimes. And that's pretty much what happened here. And so I thought any project that's going to require multiple drafts and edits would probably benefit from being kept in this kind of a situation rather than in a notebook. So just trying out different ways to make it easy to complete my projects, because scattered across different notebooks over the years is one reason why certain things don't get finished. And so I'm hoping if everything is self-contained in its own folder, that I'll be more likely to complete things, because all of the information necessary is kept here. So eventually I want to put all pending business projects into this Everbook rather than scattered around in a notebook. But we'll see. We'll see if that sticks. Now, one thing, like I said before, I made this wider than is typically recommended, and I was wondering if I regret that decision. And there's a part of me that does regret it a little, and I can't really change my mind because I've already cut the leather. If I would do this again, I would make sure that it's only 6 inches wide. Right now, how many inches is this? Yeah. This currently is 6 3/4 inches wide. Okay. As opposed to the 6 that they recommend. So basically I added 3/4 to the size, to the width. Anyway, the reason I'm questioning that is because this is the case that I carry my current planner in, right? So the current planner goes in here, right? It would have been nice if this could have gone in here too. And it would have if I would have made it only 6 inches wide. And so I feel like I should have stuck with the 6 inches and cut folders down rather than have the leather be this wide, just because now I can't tuck it in here. Now I have to just hold them together if I want to work together, and it would have been nice to just have everything in the case. So yeah, stick with the recommended size is my advice. But I did it for the folders, and hey, whatever. It is what it is. This is what we've got. I think it's pretty. I'm excited to add projects and complete projects using this folio. And that's pretty much it. There's nothing else to say. There's a lot to do, and I should get on with it. And so we will see you next week to plan week 38. And that's all. If you enjoyed our time together, please remember to like and subscribe so that you can be notified when we're live or upload new content. If you would like to book a tarot, energy, or mediumship reading with me, my books are currently open. Just go to www.thinkingthis.com and use the form to book your session today. Have a wonderful week 37. Only love prevails. See you next week. Peace.